Welcome to the From My Stand podcast with Matt Hinkle. Whether you are an avid hunter, a novice, or someone interested in the sport, Matt has a unique perspective to share. Sit back, relax, and kick your boots up as Matt shares what he's seeing from his stand.
Hi friends, thanks for joining us today. I'm your host, Matt Hinkle, and today we're going to do an episode that I really did not expect to do, but here we are, we're doing it. So what we're going to do today, let me see if I can get the camera to come in on this. I am going to be doing a review on the Best Sight DIY night vision system. Okay, this is not a pure unboxing video. I have already unboxed it. I've actually used it. And so what I thought we would do for this week's episode, you know, this year, the season 2, we're calling it the year in the life of a hunter. And right now we're in May, and you know, there's not a lot of hunting going on. Turkey season is still in for another week and a half or so. And then you do have, in states like Ohio, you have the option to predator hunt. You can coyote hunt at night. And that's what a lot of guys are doing right now. So I thought, you know, we would talk about this. And again, I said that I didn't really expect to be doing this video because I really didn't expect to own this Best Sight DIY night vision system, but I got one. Now, just full disclosure, there's no sponsorships here. Nobody sent me anything for free. What happened was um, I don't do a whole lot of predator hunting, okay? I've been kind of wanting to get into that because, again, it's something to do in between seasons, and it is fun. I found it to be a lot of fun, but I had not really invested big money. As you know, if you are into predator hunting, you can spend big time bucks on night vision equipment, rifles, ammunition, calls. You can get pretty expensive, and I haven't really wanted to do that yet. Although, you know, in the future, there's a few things I wouldn't mind getting, and I'm just going to have to kind of save up for them and get ready for those expenses. But what this system is, this is the cheapest way to achieve night vision that I'm aware of. Okay. Now, I was basically doing coyote hunting in the day or at night with lights. I had one of those things that would fix a light on top of your scope. And that was all I had as far as night vision goes. I started seeing this Best Sight system on Facebook. I saw some advertisements, and to be quite honest with you, I wasn't willing to order it, but I just commented about it. I just said something one day about it in front of my wife, and there was an upcoming, like a special time for us. And so she ordered it for me as a gift. Okay. It wasn't a Christmas gift, but she ordered it for me as a gift, and it got here. It was a total surprise. I didn't know she was doing it. And I thought, okay, cool. You know, here's a toy that I can take out and try out. I'll be honest with you. I did not have very high expectations for this. This box set was less than $150. Now, it does not come with the batteries. She had to buy the batteries, and these are rechargeable. They're 18650s, and she ordered a set of 6 batteries. I've got 3 of them on the charger here, and 3 of them are in the equipment. It takes 3 batteries to run this, and then this is a charger. But all in, she was less than $200. I am not aware of a cheaper way to achieve night vision than this. It was all in under $200, and it is based on infrared. Okay, there is infrared, there's thermal, and then you can just use straight up lights. But I have found that the straight up lights are hard to use. I called some dogs in, and the light seemed to freak them out. I got a shot at 1 coyote in a whole couple of months of hunting using lights. So you can use lights, and look, some of you might be doing that, and you may be doing it with great success. If you are, I'm not saying you can't. Hit me up in the comments and let me know if you are. And then, of course, thermal is a very popular way to go right now. But this system is infrared. And here's what I'm going to say. It is about the cheapest way out there to achieve night vision, but it does work. I will be honest with you. I did not expect this to work as well as it did. I want to show you how it goes together. We're going to assemble it on the gun, and then I'm going to take you outside. It's dark right now. We're going to go outside, and I'm going to show you what it can do out to about 200 yards, okay? So this is basically the components that you need. I've got them laid out here. Now, this box has parts in it that we don't really need. We do need a piece of this tape, but I've already got my tape cut out. This is a different collar in case this doesn't fit on your scope. Mine does fit, so I don't need this. And then it's got some like lock rings that will fit different size scopes. Basically, in this box, these are spare parts, okay? You won't use everything that comes in. So I'm going to put that off to the side. I am not using this ring. This is just a high ring if you need the high ring. I'm using the, I don't think it's a low ring, but it's like a medium. So I'm not going to be using the high ring, but I am going to be using the little Allen wrench out of the bag there. And then these are just some extra lock screws that you may end up needing. I'm using 4 of them, and then there's an extra 4. So those are extra parts too. All right, when you're putting this together, the first thing you want to do, and we're just going to go through it, you want to put your rings on first. Your rings are going to go behind your elevation and windage turret. Your elevation and windage turrets are right here. This is windage on the side. This is elevation on the top. Everything this direction is in front of the turrets. Everything here is behind the turrets. You want to put your rings behind the turrets. The only thing that I'm going to criticize about Best Sight is, and if anybody at Best Sight is listening, and I don't know if anybody is, I doubt it, but if they're listening, they could do a lot better job on the instructions. The instructions are not very good, and they're not very clear. What I had to do was I had to go on YouTube and find a video. So now I'm just making my own to show you how to do this. I like the equipment. I'll tell you as I get it together what I like about it. And there's a few things I don't like about it. Look, it's cheap. It is imperfect, but it does work. And that's the thing that I'm excited about. If you're somebody out there that says, I want to achieve night vision on a super tight budget, this is a way to do that. Okay, now what you're going to end up with, you're going to end up with the ring basically upside down like that. But it is really hard to put on like that. So let me give you a little tip. Start it underneath like that. Essentially get your screws started upside down. And I'll show you what I mean. Where's that little Allen wrench? There it is. So we're going to start our screws. And I know this is a little monotonous to watch, but I am going to put these screws on. Be careful. Don't want to strip anything out. Make sure that you just like anytime you're mounting a scope or rings or anything working on a gun, just be real careful. You don't want to strip things. You don't want to scratch things up. By the way, the gun that I'm putting all this on is a Remington Model 700. It is in 6.5 Creedmoor. That's the closest thing to a Predator gun I have right now. Although now that I've gotten into this night vision a little bit, I want to get a more suitable Predator rifle, and so that'll be coming in the future. But right now, this is what I got. Okay, see what I did there? Now I just flip it over, upside down, and I got to do the last little bit of tightening upside down. But you don't want to have to do all the screwing upside down, or it is really tedious. It's even tedious like this, but we're going to get there. We are going to get there. We're not going to let this thing beat us. Just take your time. Get those screws on nice and tight. I'm not torquing them because honestly, it doesn't, all this is going to do is hold a little screen. It doesn't have anything to do with the accuracy of the gun. So as long as it holds still, that's all you really need to achieve with this. Okay, so there's that. All right, that's your ring to hold. That might be a little crooked. I may have to straighten that up, but you get the idea. The next thing you want to do is take they give you this camouflage padded tape. Be sure, come right in here with this scope. Make sure that you don't cover up your zoom adjustment on your scope, your power. This is a 3:9 by 40 Vortex scope. It's a Vortex Diamondback. Now that tape does a pretty good job of just kind of holding once you wrap it around. It's almost like medical tape. All right, this is your camera. That's what this is. This is a camera. I already have my set screws backed all the way out, and you just slide it over the ocular piece of your scope. For right now, we're not going to tighten the set screws. We're just going to leave it loose, okay? Next thing we're going to do is we're going to mount our monitor. This is the camera, this is the monitor, and it goes on right here. And so you're just going to, easier said than done, I guess. There we go. And basically it's a scope ring upside down. So what I just tightened is the little clamp that would normally go on the scope base or the rail, whichever way you've got it. All right, the next thing you do is you just take the cord from your camera to the cord to your monitor. You plug them in. I already have the batteries in everything, okay? I did that before we started filming, but this monitor takes 2 batteries. They go in right here. If you can change batteries in a remote control on your TV at home, you can do this. It's real easy. And then that third battery goes in your infrared flashlight. Now, one thing to note, if you buy this system and you like it, you can get a more powerful infrared flashlight. That is a possibility. Now, you'd have to go out and buy that on your own. And really, the sky's the limit on money you can spend on infrared lights. But this is the one that comes with it, and it's good out to about 200 yards. I've already used it. I've already hunted with this gun. In fact, I've owned this system for about 2 months, and I've shot 3 predators with it. So it does work. I've already killed a number of coyotes with it. And so it does work, and it works out to about 200 yards. Now, I will say this, if you're in the pelt business, you don't want to use a 6.5 Creedmoor, or at least not the Hornady ELDX 143 grain. This is what I've been using. That's what I had this gun sighted in for, and it'll handle a coyote in short order, but it's not good for the pelts. Okay, now I'm going to come around. My camera can just kind of stay how it is, but I'm going to come around and show you what you got to do next, okay? Now I realize, come around this way. Right here. Yeah. I realize that monitor is a little bit crooked, but that's okay. So we're going to flip that on. It's in daylight mode, but see how jacked up that crosshair is? You have to kind of adjust this camera. Oh, I almost forgot. This piece, this little plastic piece, it covers the camera lens. I always leave that on when I'm not using it, but you don't want it on right now. It'll kind of distort the image. Okay, see what I did there? I've got that all aligned. Now you can start to tighten your set screws. See how that crosshair is nice and in the middle of the screen? You want to tighten these set screws while the monitor is on, or else you'll have to loosen them up anyway to get it all straight. See how nice and straight that is? Now that's in daytime mode, but as you can, I don't know how well the camera's picking that up, but everything over there on the fireplace is being illuminated right now. So when you're using this, you don't look down, just point that way. You don't look down the scope, you watch the screen. And your scope reticle is, as long as your scope is sighted in, that's going to be accurate. So you just put the crosshairs on what you're aiming at, just like you normally would. Now it's in daytime mode. It has a nighttime mode, and we'll flip to nighttime mode in just a minute. But I'm going to go ahead and cut the camera because we're going to take this thing outside. It's dark. I want to show you what it looks like in the dark, and then you can just make your own mind up. Okay. I'm not saying this is the best night vision option, but it does work. And I want to show you that. And I thought we'd do just for, we're in May for this podcast, and it's kind of slow right now with hunting. And I thought I would just show you something that you could think about, maybe try and see how it goes. So I'll see you in just a minute outside. We'll go see what it does in the dark. All right, well, I'm out in my yard now, and I want to show you what this thing looks like in the dark. So I should have done this at the start of filming. Before we started filming, I checked this gun to make sure it was unloaded. You always want to make sure a gun is unloaded. But right now, I'm going to point it out through my yard and show you what it looks like in the night vision. And so I want to open the action. So the bolt is open, the gun is unloaded, and we're going to point it on. I'm just going to kind of rest it on this fence and show you. Now, you can see how this screen is just black. Well, that's black for a couple of reasons. Number one, this thing is in daytime mode. There's a toggle switch on the back of the camera. It's right here. And you just flip that over and it turns it to night mode. But then you turn your infrared flashlight on. I should have turned the flashlight on first. It kind of pops a little bit. You can zoom, but there you go. I mean, that's probably 150 yards out there. And the reason we're getting a little bit of that distortion is my battery is low. I need to change the batteries. The batteries are only good for about one hunt, but you can see there's a tree right there, some rocks, and I've hunted with this gun several times and it's never popped or glitched. But I always go out with fresh batteries. I think the batteries are just a little low. But you can see how clear the image is. And when there is an animal like a coyote or something like that, their eyes really illuminate. You can see them really good in the dark, and they show up really good on the screen. And again, you don't look through that scope. You just get your gun nice and rested. You put the crosshairs on whatever it is you're aiming at, and you squeeze the trigger. I'm on my third. Coyote now with this system, and so it has made me a believer. So it does work. Well, let's go inside and we'll finish up this discussion. Got just a couple more things I want to say about it. All right, well, I've tried to kind of show you that this thing does work, and it works, pretty good. That's my honest opinion about it. Again, our channel, we're not big enough to have any kind of sponsorships or anything. Nobody from Best Site sent me anything. It was just a gift. I took it out and tried it, and I have had a couple of successful hunts with it, and it does work. Now, again, if you don't put it on a good rifle scope combination, it's not going to make up for that. I mean, your rifle and scope have to be sighted in, and everything's got to be good in order for that screen to be accurate. But it does work. And so I've really enjoyed using it. Again, I am not saying that the Best Sight DIY night vision system is the best thing out there. There's a lot of good options, but this is a basement bargain budget item. And for a lot of people, that's a major consideration. And so it does work. So I'm putting my stamp of approval on the fact that it does work. One thing that you need to at least hear me say, and I will tell you this before you go out and hunt with it, is, I mean, you can see there's a lot going on here. And I've only owned mine for a short amount of time, So I don't know how well these wires are going to hold up, how well the equipment is going to hold up over the long haul. I mean, if you're going to go on a trip somewhere and it's a big hunt, yeah, I mean, I don't know. This thing is not ultra tough. I don't think this screen would hold up to too much. I don't think this camera would take too much. I would not hunt with it in the rain or in an active snowstorm because I don't think it would hold up very well in that situation. Now, if you have evidence to the contrary, please let me know in the comments. But it just doesn't seem like it would hold up real well in a real adverse situation. And also, you probably don't want to go. Not that you would do this at night anyway, but you probably don't want to go charging through a thicket or a clear cut because there's a lot to get hung up. Probably my biggest complaint about this system, other than I already told you how I feel about the instructions. I'm not crazy about their instructions, although I do think that picture is really cool looking. The owl eyes, that is awesome. My only other complaint is there's just a lot to get hung up. This thing is not easy to carry in the field. Now, normally I would have a sling on this gun. I could throw it around my shoulder. But I mean, to carry this, there's a lot going on. So you got to kind of cradling it is not real easy, but it can be done. Like I said, I've hunted with it and it does work. And so, you know, I like it. It gets you out there. You can see in pitch dark. In the video footage that we just took out in my yard, the video is going to look like there's more light than there was and that's camera lighting. It was pitch black out there. I could not see those trees that I was showing you on that screen. So it does work. It will get you out there hunting in the dark. And so, you know, if you're looking for something ultra cheap to get you out night predator hunting, or if you got a farm to defend, if you got a chicken coop to defend from raccoons or fox or, you know, coyotes or whatever the case is, this will enable you to see in the dark. And it's pretty cool. My son loves it. I mean, it looks very military. It looks super cool on this jet black gun, but you know, I like it. So I think the people at Best Sight did a good job, and you know, I give it a recommendation. I just think you should know what you're getting into when you get it, but it does work, and I like it. I've had a lot of fun with it. So anyway, if you've ever had any experience with this company or this product, hit me up in the comments, whether it was a good experience or a bad experience. But, you know, I found the thing to be pretty cool. So, all right. Well, thanks for joining us tonight. I hope that this has been helpful to you, or at least entertaining in some way. If you're out there coyote hunting, I hope you're getting a bunch of them. We certainly need as many of them to be gotten as we can. And so good luck out there. Well, I'm your host, Matt Hinkle, and that's how I see it from my stand.
Thank you for listening today. Be sure to tell your buddies and follow us on your favorite podcasting platforms. Y'all take care.